So you may not know this about me, but I was diagnosed as autistic and ADHD a few years ago at the age of 46. And honestly, it was the most validating thing of my entire life. It gave me this lens, finally, for understanding why I'd spent most of my why bright lights and background noise, sudden changes could completely short circuit my entire day, why I'd swing between hyperfocus and exhaustion, why routines seemed to work for other people, but they just never clicked for me. Getting that diagnosis helped me see that I wasn't broken. I was just on a different operating system. And once I started understanding how my brain actually worked, I could find tools that worked with it instead of fighting against it. One of the biggest tools for me, and probably the most powerful one, has been my art. It's not just a creative outlet, but I use it as a way to regulate my emotions. It's a way to ground myself when things just become too loud or just too much. I use it to slow down, to breathe, and to reconnect with myself. So in this video, I want to show you what that kind of looks like for me. So it's a little bit more personal, this one. I want to show you what dysregulation feels like for me and how I use my art to shift back into something a bit more calmer, a bit more centered, and I get to be a bit more me. So let's see how we go. So before I start doing one of my calming, regulating sessions, I tend to feel a little jittery and tense, and like my whole body is buzzing with static. My jaw feels tight, my chest, it feels heavy. There is pressure literally everywhere around me, and it feels like if one more thing is asked of me, I could literally explode or melt down, or both, or the world could collapse on me. I don't know if you've ever felt like this, but it's not pleasant. Once I start painting, something shifts. My focus narrows and the pressure starts to soften. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to explain anything. I just make one mark and then I make another, and I let that rhythm take over, and that moment, it just blends into nothingness. And I can breathe again. My breath slows down, my heart rate slows down, my body loosens, and I can feel again. It's not about making a masterpiece. It's not even about making good art. It's just about coming back to myself. Mark making, well, repetitive mark making in particular, is a really great way of reducing that stress. It calms your nervous system. So we are going to do a relaxing, repetitive mark making session together. And I am going to be doing it with some acrylic inks. I've chosen a yellow color because a yellow makes me feel happy, and I don't have a great deal of yellow collage papers at the moment, so it's always nice to create something that I can use in my collage work. So I am going to create a couple of puddles of color here on my palette. And using different shades of yellow and orange to get a bit of a variation in my colors. Now I am feeling a little anxious at the moment, because I always feel a little anxious when I start filming. A little heightened and a little tense, I guess. So we'll see how I feel on a scale of 1 to 10 after this, after my regulating art creation. Okay, I'm going to scale myself on a scale of 1 to 10 on how kind of tense I'm feeling. I'm probably feeling maybe a 7 on the tense scale at the moment. yeah, my tummy's feeling a little sort of gooey at present. That's probably a good way to describe it. It's certainly not the worst I've ever felt, that's for sure. But I'm certainly not calm at present. So we'll see how I feel after I have done this. Okay, so I've got my colours. I've got my paper. I have chosen a second-hand music book. This one is The Selected Piano Works of how do you pronounce that? Debussy? Yes, anyway. Yes, so it's got a nice yellowy tone to the paper as well. This sort of paper is really nice for collage work as well. And I've got a couple of mark making tools. I've got a kitty sponge dauber, which is creating some nice dust everywhere, so that's always fun. A little small round dauber, and just a regular paintbrush, which is full of glue, so that one's completely useless now. I might keep it though, because it might be worth scratching in. Covered in dust now, so let me find a better paintbrush that's actually got some, there we go, bristles that actually work. All right, let's try with the orange and the yellow this time. Try going slower this time. Go in and out. And in. Hold and out. And in. And out. In and out. That's quite extraordinary. Just that very small time. I would say my tummy feels so much better. My anxiety has gone down. So yeah, it's gone from, it was a 7, I would say it's probably more like a 3 now. My tightness in my chest has gone from, it was probably a 7, it's probably gone down to a 2 now. That is quite extraordinary. 100% effective. I feel so much better. Just in that 2-page spread. And now I've got 2 fabulous pages for my collages. 100% wonderful stuff. So that's a little glimpse on how I use art to regulate my nervous system. It doesn't fix everything, but it is a good way to get things a little calmer and, make things a little more normal in the world. This is what we came up with today. If you played along with us, it'd be great to see what you came up with. I'd love to hear from you. Do you have a go-to practice that when things get overwhelming, maybe you've tried painting this way before? Just let me know in the comments. If this resonated with you, feel free to subscribe or stick around. I'll be sharing some more honest creative tools like this and maybe a bit more of my own neurodivergent journey too. So thanks so much for being here. Take care of your nervous system today. You are not alone and you are definitely not broken.